These are shallots, and most people don't know what to do with them. I was just gifted 1.5 kilos of shallots, aka 3 pounds. So I thought this would be the perfect day to show you 6 different chef techniques on how to utilize this awesome ingredient. Let's get started. First, we're gonna make some pickled shallots. So I think pickling is a extraordinarily underrated technique because when we're pickling the shallots, they last a long time. Today, we have Tree over there. He's on shallot peeling duty. These are Asian shallots. The Asian shallots are smaller and they're a little more aggressive on the palate, a little bit spicier, a little bit stronger flavor, but I really like how these are packaged and sold. So these come from southern Vietnam. For the pickling liquid, you can use any vinegar. I would recommend using a neutral vinegar. So that could be white vinegar, that could be rice vinegar, that could be apple vinegar. It's a very neutral flavor that can be used for pretty much anything, any cuisines. And I'm gonna use a simple ratio of 2-2-3. So that would be 2 parts sugar, 2 parts vinegar, 3 parts water. Literally taking any container at all. So we keep the ratio the same. We'll bring this to a boil. We can give it a little pinch of salt and then we'll taste it. This ratio, I would describe this as a sweet pickle. If I was making more of a Western style pickle, I could go as low as 1, 2, 3. So you can imagine it'll be twice as sour. So anywhere between these 2 ratios, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna make a pickle. I'm gonna make some that I intend to use today. And then I'm gonna make some that are gonna be for long-term storage for me. But for the ones I'm using today, I'm gonna cut them in slices because I know exactly what I'm gonna use them for and I want them to pickle quickly. Yo, oh my God, Michael crossed the road. I didn't expect him today. Holy cannolis. What's up, Michael crossed the road, sir?
I just figured I'd surprise you today.
That's good, pop in. Oh my God, it's a full house. It is a full house at CKSK today. I have a lot of food. Hope you have enough steak for lunch. I do. I have the most amount of protein I've ever had for a stream. I actually have enough to feed everyone in this room right now, as long as nobody else pops up, so that's cool. The 2 different shallot techniques we're gonna use in this, the pickled shallots, which we started earlier on stream, and then red wine shallot sauce. The goal of this sauce is deepness and darkness and like kind of a very savory, rich factor where the other one was more about lightness and purity. Today, I'm gonna be serving them with a steak, and I actually got a piece of filet. This is local beef filet. I don't know, we'll see what happens with it. No promises that this is gonna be like the best tenderloin ever. Fresh pepper to the steak. My pan is hot. You can see a little bit of smoke coming off there. I don't have a lot of fat in the pan, but that's okay. I'm gonna flip on every side here. We're gonna add a lot of butter. Bada bing. I'm gonna add some garlic in here. And we're gonna finish this steak out. A little bit of rosemary. And I just turned the heat down because I don't want the butter to burn during this process. Because I'm making a pan sauce and I'm gonna be cooking the shallots in this pan. Did you peel all of them? Yep. Good job, young man. So I'm taking my time and making sure this doesn't go too hot and get brown butter. Burnt butter. Brown butter's okay. If you were in here, you would smell this is heavily aromatic again. Once the rosemary, butter, and garlic hit, it is quite nice. I think a lot of people, when they think of like Western food or they see a chef, it's kind of just this. Meat in a pan with the butter, roasting with the fat on top here. I'm gonna pull the pan off the stove. Take the steak out of the pan, put the rosemary underneath, throw a little bit of this butter on here for the beef to continue to sit in, and this is gonna go in my warm oven now. Warm. These shallots are gonna go in the sauce and they're gonna stay in the sauce and they're gonna be served with the steak. And I wanna have enough where it has body to it. So I'm just cutting these in a fat, messy julienne. Now we're gonna throw in all the shallots into here and we'll start roasting these shallots down. Now I wanna see color. Now I wanna get caramelization. I'm looking for deepness and richness in this. Again, this is the pan sauce because I'm cooking the sauce in the pan that I seared my protein in. So this is always a good strategy where you don't waste any flavor. It's also a good strategy where you're not dirtying that many dishes. That part's kind of nice. We're gonna take this red wine down, reduce this by 50%, at least 50, it could be even more, but that's okay. While the sauce is coming together and the meat is resting, we're gonna start searing the vegetable and our one beautiful potato, which I did boil, parboil. You're gonna get a wedge.
Oh, I'm getting a wedge?
Yeah. And the same thing with the vegetable. The vegetable is totally replaceable. Today we're using like a cool little green squash. Kind of looks like a pumpkin, but it's like a zucchini actually. So it's kind of cool. Seared, rosemary. All right, so this looks almost dry. The red wine seems almost cooked out of here. If I didn't have the red wine in here, I could totally finish this just with cream and make a shallot cream sauce. It's very versatile in how you're gonna do this. I could treat this just like the burblanc sauce that we made and just put butter in here and make a red burblanc. That's totally another option. And that's basically what we're gonna do. I'm gonna add a lot of that chicken stock I have back there to this. I'm doing some black pepper in the sauce. We're gonna finish the seasoning now. Black pepper, salt. So I don't wanna add any more stock. At this point, I'm either adding butter or cream. Do you have a preference? Would you like butter or cream in here?
I think I prefer the butter.
Okay, let's do butter. If we're doing butter, we're gonna do it the same way with the beurre blanc. We're gonna slowly do the additions in there. There was a lot of moisture in this pan, so I'm not worried about any sort of breakage at the moment. So anytime, if you have an aggressive flavor, like the wine is a little aggressive, and the chicken stock was actually quite flavorful. The butter always softens flavors. Every time you add butter, it kind of mellows everything, it coats your tongue. So it's good if you have aggressive things, you can add butter to it, and it will kind of tamper it and cool it down. And
What proteins would you pair it with?
whatever protein it is, it would be seared, in my view. And I guess I'm gonna pull my steak out now. Whatever it is, it will be. I'm gonna cut this beef as thin as I can.
Just trying to really stretch it out.
No. So let's plate this up. I got the potato wedge down. I got the squash down. We're gonna go the beef. Wait till you try to chew this meat, then you're really gonna say something.
Oh man, here we go.
We're gonna stew it with our wonderful, beautiful sauce.
It does look so rich and brown. That's so nice. This is classic catering food.
Yeah, this is your basically your 3-component plate up. But the pickled shallots is like, that would be the one thing that's kind of like,
This
oh.
is chatified.
Yes, they've been sitting in this pickling liquid for 2 hours. Very simple again, 2 techniques of shallot, the red wine shallot sauce and the pickled shallots.
Wow, it looks so cute. This is like the fanciest Lunchable I've ever had.
Why does this technique work here on this classic dish that typically wouldn't have this on here?
Because the brightness is gonna be nice. We have a deep dark flavor with the sauce. A little bit of brightness is great. And you would see this same sort of technique that you would see in the catering setup would be the horseradish sour cream sauce.
Yeah.
So that kind of gives you the pickled horseradish, the sour of the sour cream, that's the acidity element. But I like the sauce. I like the pickled shallot on there.
I really enjoy this. Honestly, it's nice to eat something so classic.
Yeah.
The pickled shallot, I want chopped and like spread out with the rest of the shallot so that I can get it each bite.
If you cut the pickled shallots the same size as the cooked shallots and put it in the sauce, that would be a cool technique too.
I like the. I was okay with the big chunks today.
Yeah, every
That was all right with
every
us.
once in a while.
Man, Chef, really good. I think you killed it on the sauce. I think you killed it on the beef. That I understand the beef that you're working with
Yeah.
quite well. That's very difficult to do, and this come out really nice too.
Yeah.
Michael smashed his plate, man. He's
I'm
not
hungry.
even
I didn't have
playing
enough
around. I'm giving you a 9 on this, Chef. I think.
Hooray!
I think it was really well. I think your sauce is great, dude. If you're a home cook looking to do something simple that is within your reach, copy exactly what Chef just did here. And the way that he cooked that sauce, the sauce is so nice, guys. It's balanced. It's not too overwhelming either way.
Oh, Tank's got a clean plate. That local beef is just so satisfying to his local tongue. Pretty good. The next thing we're gonna do is 2 shallot techniques, the roasted shallot and the beurre blanc butter sauce, and make this a complete dish with a seared piece of fish and some asparagus. And this will be something that would be more along the Western technique. A little bit of oil, medium heat. I'm throwing the whole shallots in. So we're gonna roast these. Roasting can be a term that will be used in different ways. I think most of the time in a home kitchen when we think of roasting, we're always gonna think put in the oven, which is a good safe bet to think of. But sometimes in a professional kitchen, we'll say roasting even when we're just doing pan work with a lot of fat. Somewhere between sauteing and frying with the amount of fat level, and you can do it all on top of your stove, or you can do it in the oven. I'm gonna do a little bit on the stove, I'm gonna do a little bit in the oven, but I wanna sear these until they get some color. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt now. I'm gonna add a little bit of butter in here. Bada bing, the butter's in there. So at this point, if I just pauléed, I just kind of threw the butter over the shallots, that sort of technique you see, that would count as roasting to me in most professional kitchens. But I am gonna finish these in the oven. So we can see the butter is foamy. It's highly aromatic at this point. But in here, I'm gonna throw in a sprig of rosemary. If I had time, I would probably use thyme, purely because I'm using the rosemary for a different dish and I would just not use the same aromatic twice. So this is gonna go in my oven. My oven is low heat. We're gonna roast these until they're soft. Check out my roasted shallots. We can see they look a little bit translucent. I know they're getting softer, but they still need more time. All right, we're gonna make a simple beurre blanc, which is just a butter sauce. Sounds fancy, it's easy, ain't no thing. If I intended to keep the shallots in the sauce, I would do a much nicer dice. But since I'm starting with scrap shallots already, I know I'm gonna strain it anyway, so I don't care about these. I'll just slice them. If we're doing French food, we know we're gonna use a crap ton of butter. This is gonna be a lot of butter. Throw the shallots right in there. We're gonna take this low heat, we're gonna sweat them. We do not want color, no color. A little bit of salt in here. Now you could do this without any alcohol at all. Typically it's gonna be white wine. I don't have any white wine, I got sake. So we're gonna use some sake from Mua. Wonderful, beautiful sake. And then we're gonna reduce it. So sake's going in. Then we're gonna reduce the sake down.
What kind of fish we got here, Chef?
We got tilapia.
Tilapia.
Tilapia. I was buying beef. I was like, let me get the tilapia. I was gonna get salmon. I was like, we're getting beef. Let's get the tilapia. It'll work.
I love me some tilapia.
I do
eat it at
too.
home all the time.
I do too. The salmon, you'll see people do beurre blanc with salmon all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessary. Salmon's already fatty. I don't want to add that much butter on top of it. The fish, I got a little bit of flour. And we're gonna do a little bit of crust on the skin of the fish just to help it crisp up. I wanna get this almost dry.
It's a different scent hitting my nose.
And I'm gonna leave this basically on the one side to cook the whole time, and I'll flip it over on the other side just to kiss it when it's close. I'm just taking the shallots out of this pan right now. I just wanna get this easy plate. Liquid's almost reduced. You can see, this is like basically no liquid left. The big part for the burblanc, especially if you're doing this old school traditional method, which we're doing, we're not adding any stabilizers into this. We're slowly gonna add cubes of butter, one at a time, and I'm just swirling it. And this is very similar to like making a mayonnaise where you're just making an emulsion. This is just a hot emulsion. I'm watching this very closely. If I see it start to look really thick, then I'm gonna add a few drops of water because I know it's gonna almost break. The water kind of just adds safety to you. It just lets you feel like, oh, I can add more fat to this mixture because it can only hold so much fat before it breaks. I was gonna add just a few drops of water, but actually I have some chicken stock here, so I'm gonna use that. And it's really thick, good chicken stock. Taste this sauce. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing because it's just butter. It really is good. The sake adds a little bit of bitterness to it, and it's not bad. I'm just gonna add a little bit of sugar to balance that, but I just know these old men are gonna give me crap. Oh, I taste some bitterness in there.
Never say that.
What's gonna give me that bitterness?
Oh my gosh.
Check this fish. Nice color. And then we're ready to go. We're gonna plate this up. And again, this could be any vegetable. Asparagus just seem kind of fancy. Or the roasted shallots, we can use them as a side dish, which we're gonna do now. We could spread it on bread like a bruschetta. Like there's a lot of things you could do with it. And that's kind of the idea today. It's just showing you different shallot techniques that you can use for many, many different things. So now I have the burblanc strained out. I'm gonna put a little bit on here. What a beautiful sauce. And we're just gonna go super simple. Bada bing, that's our dish. A simple, tasty, seared filet of tilapia, roasted shallots, shallot burblanc, and some asparagus. Very simple.
Classic, tasty, there's no problem with it.
No,
yeah,
exactly.
I think it's 8?
I think eight's a fair score. Yeah.
Shallot's top.
Beautiful.
Shallot's top, yeah.
Yeah.
Shallot's beautiful, the burblanc's great, asparagus is cooked perfectly. It's a great dish. This could easily be on a menu anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you went to any French or Italian restaurant, you spent $25, $30 on a piered seafood. You get this, it'd be great, no problem. And you could totally do this at home, ain't no thing. The shallot, as I said, could easily be served with this, with any sort of seafood, or paired with any sort of meats, chicken, pork, beef, lamb, anything. It works everywhere. So maybe that's in conclusion, this is a good way to utilize shallots as a side dish or as a vegetable and not just a seasoning or an aromatic. Yeah, that makes sense. If you're enjoying this video so far, make sure you join us live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. Indo-China time, Thursday, Sunday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where you can actually interact with me, I'll answer all your questions, and you can be the one to decide what we're gonna make on the next video. And now, back to the video. The next big super technique is going to be the wonderful fried shallot oil. It's one of my favorite flavor bombs. Fried shallot oil, I think, should be in every kitchen, regardless of your cuisine. You will use it and you will love it. But basically what we do is slice the shallots thin and then fry them in oil. It's really simple. So I'm cutting these on a mandolin. This is really the best way to do it. You can cut them by hand, but honestly, I doubt your knife skills are good enough to do it. It's not that important how thick or thin you cut them. You just want to cut them evenly. If they're gonna be a little bit thick, make them all a little bit thick. If they're gonna be thin, make them all thin. That's why the mandolin is the best if you're gonna do this by hand. And this is the kind of project, if you're gonna be making the shallot oil, just make a lot. Don't do a little bit. Just really go for it. This is not something I want to make every week. I want to make this once for 2 to 3 months and then be done. So, yeah, I'll show you. I always have it. I never, like, I'm not BSing. This is never not in my refrigerator. Why are the shallots so tiny? Because these are Asian shallots, which is cool for the flavor, but is annoying when you're doing this process. Honestly, I would love to do more, but I just want to kind of keep the show going. So we're gonna do this much fried shallot oil. Neutral oil, soybean oil, peanut oil, grapeseed oil, if you can afford it. So I got 320 grams of shallot. Let's look at what 320 grams of oil looks like and see if I feel like that's the appropriate amount. I feel like equal parts shallot and oil is good, so that's a good place for you to start from. The big tip I would say about this product is I want to make sure the oil is hot before I add the shallot. Sometimes when the oil is cold and I put the shallots in, they never crisp up, they just turn gummy. I want to make sure when the onions go inside that they sizzle when they hit the oil at a minimum. If it's really violent, if it looks like they're deep frying, then I'm going to turn it down. This should take about 15 to 20 minutes in total to cook. You just want to see a little bit of bubble around the whole time. The other big tip or technique you need to make sure you're doing is you need to have a strainer and a heat-safe container ready to go. Because when the shallots are finished, you need to separate the oil from the shallots immediately. Otherwise, they will burn. 100% they will burn. All right, so these are frying. These are looking fine. Everything's bubbling. These onions are still translucent. They don't look super brown. It's not gonna stick if I don't stir them. Potential of them cooking unevenly. There's no risk of sticking, not with that amount of oil in there, no problem. So the shallots are super close at this moment. At this point, they kind of look fluffy almost. And I know at this point I should not be doing anything else except standing here until they finish. And if you miss the window by a minute or two, they're burnt. And the name of the game here is we're looking to pull them a little bit before they're the color that we want. And we're talking like 30 seconds at this point. Actually, right here, I think is where we're at. All right, so now we're gonna strain these out, and that's why we have our strainer ready to go. We wanna make sure if we just left them in here in this strainer, the stuff at the center of this pile will continue to cook even more than this stuff on the outside, and it will burn. So we're gonna take it out, put it on a tray, spread it out evenly so it can cool quickly. Let's say these were a little bit darker and I was kind of freaking out like, oh no, I'm gonna burn them, they're gonna carry over. I could throw this right in the freezer and try to cool them down as quick as possible, but I'm not worried. I like this color, I think this looks good. So I'm gonna let these cool naturally. I'm gonna let the oil cool naturally, and then we're gonna combine them later. So at this point, the fried shallots are now cold. We can combine them back together. And I'm just giving them a gentle squeeze. I don't really wanna crush them too much, and that's it. So these will come back in here. At this point, it could stay room temperature easily 6 weeks. In the refrigerator, 6 months, maybe more, a long time. You'll use it before it goes bad. I don't even date or label this oil. I don't care when I made it, I know it's fine. This is the kind of thing, as I said, you wanna make a big batch. You wanna be able to keep this because it will continue to last. And once you start using it, you're gonna use it all the time. And I have some chicken thighs, and the chicken thighs I marinated with shallot oil because I know I didn't have a lot of time. I needed a lot of flavor, and my brain immediately goes to that. There you go. Nick Trades gets it. Shallot oil is amazing. And using, there you go, in ramen. So we're not just in Viet cuisine, we're in Japanese cuisine. We're gonna be utilizing the 2 shallot techniques of the shallot oil, which we already made, and raw shallot. Raw shallots, fantastic. And the same way we had the roasted shallots where we're treating them as a vegetable, a side dish, we can also think of a raw shallot as another crunchy vegetable component in an Asian style salad or a Viet style salad or a Thai style salad. And the difference for a Vietnamese style salad compared to a Western style salad, number 1 to me is that it's made with crunchy vegetables and not leafy greens. So for us, we're gonna have cucumber, cabbage, and carrot, and the shallot as well. So we're gonna have 4 all day for this. So I'm just taking some of the shallot oil and some of the actual physical shallot pieces themselves. Both are incredibly flavorful, both are incredibly valuable. Number 2, the dressing is typically water-based, typically fish sauce-based, not typically a oil and vinegar mixture or a mayonnaise-based dressing. Some lime juice into this right now. Sugar's coming in. And then we're gonna add some herbs, Thai basil, we'll use a green onion, and I have some cilantro too. The more the better, can't go wrong. This may be a little bit aggressive for a lot of people's palates, this raw shallot, but if you come to Southeast Asia, you're gonna see this all the time, and eventually you'll start to really appreciate and enjoy the aggressive spiciness of the raw shallot. It's so simple, but it's freaking good. I can feel the shallot oil, I can taste the shallot oil. Right now, the main flavoring is really shallot oil, which is great. Utilizing shallots to their fullest potential. Texturally, it's nice. And when I add the chili, it's gonna get way better. And on here, you could eat this as is. With this kind of thing, I'm gonna be using grilled protein or a boiled protein. I really think all the white meats would be absolutely great in here. Seafood's absolutely great in here. I think this kind of dish is so satisfying. Look at this chicken, looks so freaking good. And if this was a Vietnamese woman cooking this chicken right now, they would get the scissors out and clip all the chard off. And I'm like, give me my char!
Give me the crunchy bits.
Don't take the char off. Looks fantastic. Fantastic, fantastic. So our final dish is this salad variation that uses the 2 different shallots, the fried shallot oil and the raw shallot as a vegetable in this situation. And I think this is such a great concept of a dish. Very little fat in here, there's very little sugar, there's very little carbs. It's a pretty darn healthy thing to eat.
Wow. Thank you, chef.
You're welcome. Okay, let's try it. The chicken's moist. That kind of salad is so good. Whoa, it's hot. Whoa! That's spicy. Wow, these chilies are fire. Ty's gonna like it. I like the Western food. I like the butter so much, but this style is just so bright. It just pops. I like it.
Crunchy, soft. I like it. This is great. I could eat this every day for lunch.
Yeah.
Rotate the protein.
Fish, shrimp, squid, everything on top. I taste the shallot oil. I feel the shallot oil. Then I go for like the raw shallots right here. I love it. I love the raw onion explosion now. But I think that's one of the magic things about Southeast Asian food, Thai and Vietnam specifically to me, at least in my opinion, is the stuff is it's so delicious, so bright, but yet still healthy and light. Hopefully you're more comfortable with shallots now. Hopefully you'll feel more excited to buy that extra pound or 2 pound bag at a deal that you saw at the supermarket today or tomorrow or the next week. There's lots to do with it. They're cool. Tell us what technique is your favorite, what technique do you want to try, what have you done before. If you like what we are doing, please comment down below. We're always trying to improve this channel, so thank you so much for watching. That's it. See ya.